Hello and welcome to another episode of Tates Take, the only 100% prep, high school, college, and professional basketball show. I am your lead host, Deshaun Tate, and on this segment, we're talking about who many people consider to be the top conference in all of NCAA college basketball. First, starting with who else but the Indiana Hoosiers, led by head coach and Tom Crean. This team has absolutely every asset that you could even think of a team actually having. Victor Oladipo, one of the more prolific scorers and defensive players in all of the Big Ten Conference. Will Sheehey, one of the more improved players, role players in all of the Big Ten Conference, and one of the very best three-point specialists in all of college basketball in Jordan Hulls. Not to mention the big man in the middle, Cody Zeller, who hails from Indiana, happens to be one of the Wooden Award candidates of this year. Christian Wofford, who hit that big-time shot over Kentucky last year, and Yogi Ferrell, one of the best diaper dandy, phenomenal freshmen in all of the Big Ten Conference. And coming in second, the Michigan State Spartans, who are coming off a big-time win just last Tuesday, where they were on top of their arch rival, the Michigan Wolverines, by more than 30 points, led by head coach Tom Izzo. He has the longest tenure there in the Big Ten Conference of any team in the conference. No Big Ten team has won the national championship since he did so 13 years ago in the year of 2000. Brandon Dawson. A lot of scoring can come from this guy as he looks to possibly become one of the better NBA lottery picks, and he has a lot of athleticism to showcase, so keep your eyes out for him. Gary Harris, another one of those guys, but this guy is a freshman. He's looking to be able to be one of the most prolific scorers, three-point shooters in all of the Big Ten Conference, and looking to become the Big Ten's Freshman of the Year. But this team is ultimately led by Gary Harris and Keith Appling, two of the big-time backcourts here in the conference, but they're going to need a lot of production from Derek Nix, the big man in the middle, and Adrian Payne, who comes out with a lot of length and comes in and looks to stretch out some defense with his ability to shoot the basketball from long range. Denzel Valentine, another freshman hailing out of Lansing, Michigan, who has drawn a lot of comparisons to the great Earvin Magic Johnson since 1979, but it's all going to come down to depending on the backup for Mr. Keith Appling. Travis Trice, who's been out with some concussion injuries earlier this year. If they're going to make a run in March as they usually do, they're definitely going to need this crew to come and play some ball. And staying in the state of Michigan, it's the Michigan Wolverines checking in on my top list of number 3. The University of Michigan Wolverines, led by head coach John Beilein, who leads this backcourt dynamic duo of Trey Burke, who has drawn a lot of comparisons to CP3. That's right, Chris Paul of the Los Angeles Clippers. And what about Tim Hardaway Jr.? We know about his dad, who flat out could shoot the three and could absolutely cross over anybody in the NBA for the Miami Heat. This guy takes up over his dad. Trust me and believe me, he can shoot the basketball and he can slash. What about another top shooter from the University of Michigan, and Mr. Nick Stauskas, a freshman from Canada who can light it up just as much as anyone else from behind the arc. And GR3, not RG3, but GR3, Glenn Robinson III. You know about his dad at Purdue, but we're taking it back to some of those days to refresh your memory. This guy can definitely be a lottery pick at any given year for the Michigan Wolverines and do a very good job bringing a lot of production to any NBA team. Mitch McGary, another freshman, provides a lot of energy for this team. This is a team that can slash if you want to slash. They have scorers. They bring out this tough 1-3-1 defense, three-point shooting. They have distributors. They have a great coach, transition. They can set up in a half-court defense. This team can absolutely do it all. This is a team you definitely want to stay away from in the month of March. And then last but not least, there's the Ohio State Buckeyes, led by Aaron Craft, one of the better perimeter defenders in all of college basketball this season. I like him to be my best point guard from a coach on the floor perspective. And what about do-it-all forward? Deshaun Thomas. He can slash, he can score, he can rebound, he can defend. I like him to be one of those type of players that kind of in the same mode of a Carmelo Anthony type of forward. But if they're going to get back to the Final Four in Atlanta's Georgia Dome as they did 2007, Lenzel Smith Jr. is going to need to come out with more production in addition to some guys that can come off the bench and provide some length, and Mr. Shannon Scott to give Aaron Craft a rest, and Amir Williams. They lack depth, but that is no secret to Ohio State Buckeyes, as they usually always do, and still are very, very successful as a program in the postseason. Then there's the Wisconsin Badgers, led by Bo Ryan and his physical play, led by Brian Bruiserwitz and company, and Minnesota Golden Gophers, led by Tubby Smith. Rodney Williams is a complete stud, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is a team that can reach Atlanta, Georgia's Georgia Dome. Thank you so much. I'm Deshaun Tate here on Tate's Take. Thanks for listening.